to record video.
On 100.4 FM.
Proudly brought to you by Salt on the Waterfront.
Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to Taranaki Foodies, the tastiest food show on 100.4 FM. It's us, Alina Williams and Warwick Foy in the studio with the red walls, proudly sponsored by Salt Restaurant on the waterfront, part of Millennium Hotels. And we have an amazing guest. She's my friend, and she's warm, she's ethnic, and she is like red. She's go, go, go. She has her own business. She likes food, and she is partially Puerto Rican. Welcome, Nina Brace.
Hola.
Awesome. So this time you didn't bring me your playlist. I have chosen something for you. So let's listen to the first song that I have chosen for Nina, and it's called Puerto Rica by Via Contias. Everyone knows this song.
Mm-hmm.
I reckon most New Zealanders would not know where Puerto Rico is.
Yeah.
I reckon they would think it's in Central America.
Yeah. So it's sort of off well, when you say Central America, what do you think of?
Like between Mexico and South America.
So yeah, Mexico is kind of part of that Central America. So we're sort of off the coast of there.
More Caribbean, though?
Sort of, yeah.
Maps.
Yeah, if you sort of, yeah.
It's quite interesting how little we know about this part of the world, because when people say America, you kind of imagine that they speak about United States, but there are like dozens of countries nearby, and at the same continent, in the south, and they all have different culture, different food, and so many different things. So
and I'm sort of really lucky because being multi-ethnic, I was for the most part raised here in New Zealand, so I'm a Kiwi through and through in a lot of ways.
Born here?
Born here. I was born in Waitara, Taranaki, Taranaki.
Exotic.
Yes. No, I'm really proud to be from Waitara. But I did spend part of my childhood in America. That's where my mom is from. My abuelo, my granddad Chuchi, he's from America as well. However, all of I think his older brother may have been born in Puerto Rico. Don't quote me on that, but his parents were born in Puerto Rico.
Which state is he from?
New York.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Same with my mom. She was born in the South Bronx of New York. And my abuela, my grandma, she was born in Puerto Rico, along with all of her family.
What's the grandpa words again? They sound similar.
Abuelo.
Abuelo is grandfather.
Father, and abuela.
Abuela.
It's a beautiful word, abuela.
Yeah. So there are a lot of words that are the same. So like for like a boy child and a girl child, you've got niño and niña. So an O on the end for generally means it's a masculine word. An A generally means it's a female word.
You have a very European and quite international name. Was it by choice, or did they want their children to have like an international?
I don't know. Well, niña in Spanish is little girl.
Yeah.
Well, that's how my parents thought of it at the time. So I'm the firstborn of four, so they call me Nina. Different stories for all of our names. So I'm the oldest of four. Next came my brother Gabriel. I don't know if my dad would like me telling this story, but he was named after a pimp from the San Fernando Valley. So my parents were married in America, in Los Angeles, and my mum's family have a very interesting background. They sort of lived most of their lives on the wrong side of the law, we'll put it that way. And before my parents' marriage, some stuff happened, and my dad had some dealings with this pimp from the San Fernando Valley called Gabriel. And my dad would often see him walking down the street, and he would have a girl on each arm, and he would have his two bouncers behind them, and another bouncer like bodyguard in front of him. And Dad just thought, that dude is cool. My parents were really young as well. Yeah.
Welcome back to Taranaki Foodies, the tastiest food show on 100.4 FM. It's us, Alina Williams and Warwick Foy, in the studio with the red walls. And we have an amazing guest today. I was looking forward to having her in the studio. It's Nina Brace. She's a foodie, she's a digital specialist, and she has an amazing bright past. And we already started to touch a little bit of her personal history, family history. And she just said that her brother's name is Gabriel. And for everyone who has kind of like a Catholic upbringing would think that, oh my gosh, this is like around seraphims or the angels. And she just said that it was the name of the pimp in Los Angeles.
Yeah.
So you were enthusiastically talking when we came back on air because, oh, no problem. You were in full flow telling us about the criminal links in your colourful family.
Not really going into lots of details.
Historic.
Yeah.
You're probably sick of this question, but everyone knows that New Zealand was one of the first countries that made this use of Hague
The Hague
Convention. Yes, and your family is like a testimonial for the fact that if you have a good heart and you fight with all your vigor, you'll do good things. So your father must have been a lawyer.
No, my dad was just he worked really hard to raise us. Being able to provide for his family was really important. He was a freezing worker at, was originally, because it's gone through a lot of names, the Bothworks, Ansco, the Freezing Works. He was a freezing worker there, but
like almost everyone in Waitara.
Yeah, absolutely. Him and my mum, their marriage didn't work out. And then so we went to the States, to America with my mum to, meet her family over there and stuff that had never been to New Zealand, and to sort of experience her culture. And she obviously wanted to go home as well when the marriage ended. And so went there, things didn't go to plan. We ended up there for a year and a half.
In New York State?
LA and New York. We disappeared in lots of different places. But eventually my dad kind of tracked us down, and he went to the States to try and bring us back to New Zealand. We were in Los Angeles at the time. My Titi Laura, my aunt, she wouldn't allow us to come back with Dad. And so Dad and my abuelo, so my mum's dad, he lives here in New Zealand. He was fully supporting my father, which I think is awesome. They were escorted to the airport by the police that same night and put back on a plane to New Zealand. So that's when my dad lawyered up.
Right. It's lucky they didn't do that this year, because it would have ended up in the detention centre.
Yeah. But he had an amazing lawyer, Tom Sutcliffe, who was at Till Henderson King at the time. He helped Dad out. We had a lot of support from a lot of organisations in our communities here in Taranaki, because it was going to be expensive. Dad going back to New Zealand, back to America, and fighting in the American courts for custody of his 4 children to bring them home.
So you were taken over there before there was any legal processes done here?
Yes, so my dad really wanted to trust my mother. He had chosen her to be the mother of his kids. Unfortunately, turns out my mum wasn't that trustworthy. Whole heap of stuff happened over there. We were only meant to be there for 6 months, but when the 6-month mark hit, we sort of disappeared into the American system. And I think even by the stage we were in New York, I don't even think my aunts in Los Angeles quite knew where we were either.
So are you saying that your mother essentially abducted you
Yes.
to keep you
Yes.
away from your
Probably
father?
quite hard for you because you were like 10 and you remember everything.
So I was 9.
Did you
Yeah.
understand? Did you understand what was happening?
Unfortunately, I did. The youngest of us was 2, and she obviously had no idea. And by this stage, 6 months in, we had American accents. We understood Spanish because we were quite immersed in Spanish. We were going to school there.
What passports were you on?
My mum sold our passports, but we had New Zealand passports. We are New Zealand citizens.
So you were able to navigate health and education systems on a New Zealand passport at that time?
We didn't have, I'm not sure how, like I said, my mum's family, was on the wrong side of the war, and so I don't know. I know we went to 2 schools, one in Los Angeles, Charnock Road Elementary, and then one in New York, in Manhattan, called PS 72, which is public school number 72. I don't ever remember going to any doctors or having any health care, no dentists or anything like that there.
So really we were just undercover or underground?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. And so that is how Dad was able to fight for custody of us. We had been staying there, not really illegally, because obviously my mom's an American citizen and things like that, but illegally for the fact that we had no documentation at that time.
And was she working? Did she work?
Not legally.
Not legally, but enough to fund the family.
No, she wasn't. She wasn't doing any work that was
Socially approved.
Socially approved. Yeah, that's a good way to put it.
Yeah.
But so where am I? Tom Sutcliffe. He helped get in touch with some lawyers in Los Angeles, and I think it was 2020 at the time, also followed my dad over and reported on the whole
TV show.
case. Yeah, 2020, the TV show. Followed my dad to the States and reported on the whole thing. It was a very long process, but in the end, under the Hague Convention, custody for that child needs to be awarded in their place of birth. And so because thankfully we were all born here in New Zealand, really only New Zealand courts could give proper custody. So the American courts decided to grant Dad custody to bring us back to New Zealand. Part of the court case, the first part of the court case my mum wasn't there for. She was in New York on a bender, so to speak. They tracked her down, brought her back. In that time, we spent 2 weeks with my dad and my abuelo. And then, the final court case, my dad was given custody to bring us back to New Zealand. And if Mum wanted to fight for us, she had to follow us back here. And she didn't. And we have never seen her since.
Wow, it's such a
I
deep,
don't know
sad-
anyone who had something like that. It's such a unique,
Gosh.
experience. Obviously, you didn't ask for it,
Yeah.
and obviously, it made you who you are now.
Oh.
But I still see this little girl with the bright brown eyes who are just like a little bit lost. Didn't know what to do. Because oldest in the family who's supposed to take care of the siblings, worrying about where to find some food and how to mend for Mum, who is not really here, although she's here, and things like that. So
It's interesting how she fought so hard for you, and then when it got hard, she couldn't do it.
I wouldn't say she fought so hard for us. Everything comes down to money in life.
Okay.
One of my aunts in particular was trying to gain custody of us so that she could get the benefit money. And a lot of it was, I want to go back to New York and do what I was doing and live my life like I'm a free woman, but I don't want you to have the kids either, Dave. I want to make you suffer, sort of thing. I think a lot of it was like that. That I can't have you, but nobody else. I don't want anyone else to either.
Wow, this is so hard for a young child to be understanding that. I think we need to make a music break, and I couldn't resist but put into our music list this Bad Bunny song, Never Yo.
So are the 4 children all back and safe and happy?
Yes, we are.
We'll have to ask that
talk
question.
too much more about that.
Yes.
Yeah. So this, are we being recorded right now?
Well, we're recorded for Instagram and Facebook, so and we're probably being recorded right here.
Yeah, because it's really hard to skirt around certain stuff about my mom, and then also, like, I know my siblings are listening to this right now as well, and I know it's it's a lot of
Trauma.
It's triggering for us.
Absolutely.
But we're all here in Taranaki. We're all doing pretty good. We've all spent a lot of time working through things.
Thank you. Did the authorities go after her, or did she was, once the children were gone, she was on her own?
Yeah, she did end up in prison for sale and possession of narcotics.
Amazing.
Yeah, and then it would be about 12 years ago now, maybe a little bit more than that, she ended up missing his dead.
Wow.
So, yeah, she hasn't been seen or heard from any of her family in the States or
We're going to
anything.
have another one.
In about 12 years.
Why do you think her life was so difficult?
She grew up like that.
Right.
The first time I met my abuela was at Orange County Prison.
Grew up in chaos, yeah.
Apparently my mom was the best at being able to pack up a house and move, because in the middle of the night, if they were getting, there's one story in particular, my mom, she would have been quite young, about 5 or 6. Middle of the night, they got word that they were about to be raided, so my mom was chucked out the back window with a backpack full of drugs. She ran and she hid it, and the next day, her mom took her back to get this bag of drugs. My mum couldn't remember where it was, and she got a beating because she lost thousands of dollars.
Oh man.
So yeah, my mum was a
hard life.
Yeah. She was a heroin addict, and just like her mother was, and her sister was. Her sister has died since then as well of an overdose, and left children to different fathers who were being raised by one of my aunts.
Is this so some of your aunts were helpful and some weren't?
New Zealand ones.
That's what you call helpful.
Or supportive.
Actually, I'd really like to kind of just touch on that briefly, how amazing my dad's family was. And
after we're going to be on air in like a few seconds. We will touch that, and also we'll talk about the wood. Yes, and the wood frog. This is the wood frog. Ulrich, why do you think wood frog?
Pass.
Welcome back to Taranaki Foodies, the tastiest food show on 100.4 FM. It's us, Olina Williams and Ulrich Poi, with an interesting, super charged person, Nina Brace, foodie and digital marketing specialist. And she just like made my afternoon. She brought some really interesting food, and we listened to this amazing music by Bad Bunny, and watched. Well, I did watch a little clip while preparing for this show. So, first question is about the clip. So, on the clip, there's like a little frog, very neatly dressed, and this frog, I suppose it's he, is doing lots of things like dusting and things, and reading and walking. So, what is the significance of this little frog? Why is it kind of appears on the videos of Bad Bunny?
yeah, so the national animal of Puerto Rico is a frog. It's called I can never pronounce it right, a coquui, spelled Coqui, and it is just, this common lemon
Frog everywhere.
tree frog. So on video. So I have a shirt here that my mum actually brought to New Zealand when she came here. She was 15, I think, when she came to New Zealand. And this top, I've kept it ever since. It says Puerto Rico 80. There's 2 Puerto Rican flags and the coat on it, which is the national frog.
We didn't cover in that fascinating story of your family and sad story of your family why she came here.
Another interesting story. I don't quite know the gist, but my abuelo, my granddad, who I love very, very much, he had an interesting background as well. He was a bit of a Lothario, if that's the right word, a bit of a ladies' man and stuff, and he didn't always, skirt the right side of the law either, but he came to New Zealand, I think it was in about 1980, it might have been 1979. He was on a boat. Well, I'm not quite sure of the full story, but he was going to leave America, and he decided to bring his daughter, my mum Dana, with him at the time. And I think they were meant to end up in Australia, but they ended up in New Zealand. And
when I first met your sibling, Gurgis, I just thought of pirates. So let's imagine that your granddad, Abuelo, was a pirate. this solves all the problems and misunderstanding.
I'm not too like my abuelo. I've got to say his wife, which is my grandma, obviously my step grandma, but my grandma Linda, she best thing that ever happened to him, and even he will say that.
Are they both still around?
Yeah, they're
Oh,
both
that's
up in. Well, everyone was quite young when they had children. In my family, like my mum had me 3 weeks after she turned 17. So, and I think my abuelo, my granddad, was quite young when he had my mum as well. So yeah, I'm really lucky to have.
Yeah, it's a dramatic and interesting and sad story, but we asked you when that song was playing. It has a somewhat of a happy ending back here in Taranaki.
Yes, it does. So we flew back to New Zealand when my dad was granted custody of us. We flew back to New Zealand and arrived in New Zealand on January 29th, 92, I think it was. Could be 93, but I think it must be 1993. Yeah. And we arrived in Auckland, went back to my abuelo's place because that's where he lives in Auckland, had cake because it was also my brother Curtis's birthday. I think it was his 7th or 8th birthday. Did some, because we had 2020 with us, so they filmed the whole thing, and then the next morning flew back to Taranaki and hopped off the plane, and just all of these people were there. I remember Phil Quinney interviewing us for the radio. That was cool. I thought, wow, I'm famous, not realising that I've just been on the news all around the world for like the last month. But yeah, I thought I was real famous meeting Phil Quinney and getting interviewed by him. And then came back a lot of, I don't know whether it's trauma, but I had forgotten a lot of my cousins and stuff. And so it's like, yeah, I know you're related to me, but I just, to remember those connections was really hard at first. But anyway, we drove back to Waitara to my nana and granddad's house, my dad's parents, and pulled up there, and my dad's old Holden Belmont, the old school maroon Holden Belmont, was sitting in the driveway, and all of us were just like, it's Dad's car.
Suddenly.
Like that was
moment.
Yeah, that was the moment that it really clicked that we're home,
What's your father's family like?
Amazing. They're just, my dad has always said it takes a village to raise a child, and he had 4 of them. to raise on his own, and I'm going to get emotional now. For the first year that we were back in New Zealand, my nana and granddad, Dawn and Gordon Lockley, salt of the earth people, they took us all in. The four of us kids shared a bedroom. We had 2 sets of bunks in there. My nana and granddad, obviously, they had their bedroom, and my dad had his bedroom in this little
all in
three-bedroom
Waitara.
house. And it was just a really, really happy time. And my dad still has that house. That's where he lives till today.
Where did you go to school?
Started back up at St. Joseph's in Waitara. And that was an experience as well. I remember sitting there, and the kids all the time used to say, "You say banana?" And I'd be like,
Banana.
because actually worked really hard to get rid of our American accents, because it was just like, I just want to be a kid. I don't want to be the Lockley kids anymore.
What age were you by now?
I was 10. 10, 11.
Yes.
You remember everything. You just remember.
I do.
Oh, this is like a curse at the same time as a blessing.
Yeah, it's definitely shaped who I am and how I connect with people and stuff like that. And I haven't always been well in myself, but I think I'm quite...
Lots of things to sort out, isn't it, in your kid?
I tend to be quite... I try and be quite understanding of other people's situations. Sometimes it's really hard. Sometimes I just shut down and can't take on other people's stuff. But yeah.
So life is funny, isn't it? Because I know you from buying some furniture off you, which is quite a mundane thing. Absolutely, it's a mundane thing to do. But we met a couple of times, and you told me you're an old girl of Sacred Heart, so I knew that you had a Catholic background, but I didn't know the whole rest of it.
Yeah,
it's a lot of process, isn't it?
Yeah.
But I would like to return back to the Puerto Rican food, which we just tried. So when I would be asked about what's Puerto Rican dish, would you know? I would say rum and coke.
Okay, so really shout out to my abuelo, my granddad Chuchi. His name is actually Jesus de Chuchi Robles, but we grew up calling him Granddad Chuchi and abuelo. He has always cooked Puerto Rican food. He does it really well. No one else can do a roast pork like he does, which is pernil. But he, along the years, has taught me how to do arroz con habichuelas, which is a rice and beans, with a sofrito. So a sofrito is a traditional base. It's kind of like a salsa or a pesto, kind of, that is used as a, you can use it for a marinade on your meat. You can use it. I use it for a base in my rice and beans.
What's the cut of pork called?
Pernil, which is basically roast pork. That's how
it is a challenge for Warwick, because Warwick likes smoking food and cooking food and meat especially. So here we go. Next time we probably will see some Puerto Rican roast pork.
Yeah. So it's just a roast pork, but you've got to have it with arroz con habichuelas, so rice and beans, and tostones, which is what I've brought in today.
Oh my gosh, I love them.
They
you
were
know
just
why?
delicious.
Well, first of all, it's deep fried.
Yeah.
Secondly, it's salty. I crave salty food because in New Zealand, well, especially in the good restaurants, they undersalt food.
Yeah.
And in Ukraine, we love salty food.
Yeah.
And when I put it on my plate, I just oversalt very often because it's undersalted. But this is such a combination of slightly sour, a little bit sweet, and salty.
Yeah.
And oh my gosh, this is so pleasing.
Yeah.
And it is so satisfying. So tell us, what's in this dish?
So tostones are basically twice fried bananas. They, like, traditionally you'd use plantains for it. I just go and buy sort of the greenest bananas that I can from the supermarket. Obviously, wherever you are in the world, you cook what you love and you make it work with the ingredients that are available to you. So I go and get green bananas, chop them up, and I did actually take some photos to show you guys. of the whole process.
Can you please put it on our group at Taranaki Foodies, and maybe other people can see it too, and maybe cook something like that?
So easy. You sort of cut them into lengths to begin with, and fry that length in oil. I use olive oil. Take that out, let it drain on a paper towel, and then you squish it.
Do they mash bananas or not?
No, it's just squished just once. You can use a tostonera, which is like a wooden...
like a press?
A wooden press. My granddad used to have a tostonera, but he broke it, and so he's just like, use your hands, Nina. So we just, a piece of like baking paper, the banana's sitting up this way, and then you just squish it, baking paper on top, squish it, chuck it back in.
Probably so satisfying to do as well.
Yeah.
So there's a seed that's involved, is that right, at some point?
So, well, not with the tostones. So with the rice and beans that I do, the seed I call achiote. I think that's what my abuelo calls it, achiote. So it's an anato seed, and it is, I cook about a teaspoon to a tablespoon in about a cup of oil, olive oil. You sort of cook it until the oil is a real red colour, drain the seeds out, throw them away, and then keep the oil and use that. So I'll put the oil in a pot and then put my sofrito in and pre-cook the sofrito, which is, sofrito is cilantro, coriander. I do onion, capsicum, garlic, lots and lots and lots of garlic, lots and lots and lots of salt, paprika, some fresh herbs, blend that all together.
Do Puerto Rican like spicy?
Yeah.
Right.
Well, I do. But yes, my abuelo grows chilies and things like that. He has tried, I don't know how successful he was. I know he's had chili seeds shipped over from the States. He's had cilantro seeds shipped over from Puerto Rico. I don't know how successful he ended up being, but yeah.
This plant, the fruit, looks so interesting. It looks like a hairy hedgehog, and then part of it is open, and there's like a almost like a stereometrical, like a pyramid.
Yeah. So I mean, I suppose you could relate it to like saffron. People use saffron. Well, this is a seed of a plant that kind of looks like that. You know,
is it as expensive as saffron?
I've never bought it myself. I'm really lucky. My granddad just gives it to me. So yeah, I'm not sure.
So I never had heard of a natto seed before, but this week I've heard of it twice, as I was telling you off air.
Yeah.
So you've brought it in as colouring for oil, you've said, with your rice and beans. And it is also used as the colour for red Leicester cheese. And I had a bit of a craving for red Leicester cheese, so I went and bought some. And then I thought, why is it? It's not actually red; it's orange. But why is it orange? And then I read because it was coloured with that seed.
I always thought that it's artificial. Wow, that's pretty amazing. Yeah. So, obviously, all this experience of you as a young girl who was traveling all around the world from one continent to another for some wrong reasons and things like that taught you something. So, what's your family like now?
Me and my siblings, I think we'll always be close. We've always had, we've had our times of, being separate because of whatever's going on in our life, and we've all had our different stuff that we've had to work through. But in a way, they're some of my besties in a way. They're also sometimes the people that I can hate most of the world. Being the oldest of four, it's
It's an interesting role.
But yeah, we're all doing really well, and that's cool. I have and he's gonna be like, stop, Nina, you're being cringy. I have the most amazing husband ever, Stephen Brace.
This is so cute. I love stories like that.
I'm obsessed with my husband, and it's quite disturbing, probably. My kids tell me to stop it all the time. My husband's quite a humble man and can be a bit shy, and even when I go on to him, sometimes he'll like roll his eyes and go, "Stop it, please."
How many children do you have?
We have two, so we've been together almost 23 years. Been married for 19. We have a 21-year-old son and an 18-year-old daughter. Connor is he's an interesting combination of the both of us. He is colouring. He takes after my Lotley side, so my Kiwi side, and after his dad. He's as fair as they come. Had white hair when he was younger. It's sort of a sandy brown now. Blue eyes. I used to, when you're younger, you sort of imagine the kids that you're going to have, and I'm like, I would love to have a blonde-haired, blue-eyed kid. And my family are like, "You're black. There's no way." No, whatever. Well, I've got my blonde-haired, blue-eyed boy. So, he is really into tech, IT, and all of that sort of stuff. So he is halfway through a software development degree. And my daughter, Addison, she has just finished school at the end of last year, and she is doing her real estate papers, and she's working part-time at the Cheesecake Shop, which she is there right now, I think, probably listening to me, hopefully. But they're both awesome people. They drive me nuts at times, but they are really, really good people, and I'm really proud of the adults that they are growing into.
Where is your son?
My son, he's actually just moved back home, so he has been in Wellington studying, and he has just moved back. It didn't quite work out for him down in Wellington at this stage, so he's come home for the rest of this year, still studying. All of his courses are online. So it's a full house again, but that's pretty cool.
So we need to wrap up because we're 45.
Yes, we're supposed to speak for 30 minutes, but it's already 45. You're such an
It's been
interesting
so interesting.
conversationalist. We would like to have you again, Nina. Bring your children, or sometimes maybe bring your siblings, or come again by yourself, whatever.
Yeah.
But I think we should just cover off Puerto Rico, because I will admit I thought it was in Central America. I thought it was near Costa Rica, Panama, around there. And we now know that it's not. It's to the east of the Dominican Republic. So it's a long way east of Central America, more part of the Caribbean.
Yeah.
Awesome. So today we had Nina Brace, foodie, digital marketing specialist, and Puerto Rican at heart.
Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you very much. Hope to see the recipe at our group, Taranaki Foodies on the Most FM. And please follow us on YouTube and on Instagram, where Nina's interview will be showing up. And thank you very much, my amazing gourmetarians. And thank you, Nina, for coming. Now we're going to finish with the song that is called Nina.
And did you tell us who you were named after? Do you know?
I was just called Nina from a little girl, but my full name is Nina Ariana Margarita.
Okay.
Those are my middle names. Margarita is a long family name.
So here is, what does that say? Pom guitarist. Is that right?
Yes.
Nina,
Devoted to
Pom
Nina
guitarist.
Ariana Margarita Brace.
Stick around for the Moments of Happiness show in 5 minutes.
Awesome.
Jeepers.